The second panel regards the unspoken truth, what clients think but rarely say. We will hear the insights from the 27Names European Experience Index. We all know that our industry is full of contradictions, and this session will reveal some of the most interesting findings from the European Experience Index, the first benchmark that combines the perspectives of both agencies and clients across Europe. To guide us through the insights, please welcome Alexandra Iannarelli, Innovation Manager at Next Group, Maciej Ledzion, is that correct?
Very good.
Partner at Endorfina Events. Enjoy the session.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Salvatore. Hello, everyone. Welcome and good morning. We are super happy to see you, so many of you actually, quite early in the morning. So we are very excited to kick off this presentation of the survey conducted by 27Names. As Salvatore said, is the first one covering the whole European market. And actually collecting this data felt like organizing a big European family dinner. So we brought a lot of people, ended up creating a pretty long table. And thankfully, at the end of the day, we didn't cause any diplomatic incidents. Though, yeah, did we or not? No, I guess we didn't. Yeah, so the main value of this is basically the diversity of the input. So we believe that it gives us a much broader view than any country or any region would bring to the table by itself. And don't worry, unlike at any family dinners, we're not gonna argue who makes the best dessert, because we probably all know who does, right? So before, well, actually, Salvatore did it already, but to introduce ourselves, we're Alexandra Iannarelli, the Innovation Manager and Partner at the Next Group, so please give a round of applause to Alexandra. My name is Maciej Ledzion. I'm the co-founder and partner at Endorfina from Poland. And by the way, I didn't mention Alexandra is from here, from Italy. And don't worry, we try to synchronize our parts of presentation as much as possible. We'll try to keep things as clear as possible. We're not going to go through the whole survey. And if anything gets lost in translation, just please assume that it was meant to be to sound very sophisticated and very international. We'll try to do our best. And just before we tell you about the data and the numbers, let us introduce you shortly the 27Names, the organization that stands behind this whole survey. We are basically representing 27 countries with a network of leading independent live events or experiential marketing agencies. And basically what we do every day is that we collaborate on international projects and we do pretty much everything from conferences to bigger live activations. But what's the strongest point? It's probably that while we do pretty international works, we still stay very locally relevant due to the diversity of the members of the whole organization. So what is also important is that our organization is based on a couple of core values, including inspiration, openness, and sharing. And basically, this is why we are here today, just to share with you the most important, or at least most important from our point of view, outcomes and insights that we can take out of this survey. Before we go to the data, Alexandra will tell you a little bit about how we basically created the whole document.
Thanks, Maciej. So, what exactly is the EEX? The European Experience Index 2025 is the first cross-European benchmark that captures the real, unfiltered perspective of both clients and agencies. We work with NewtonX, an independent research firm, and we gathered data and insights from 135 clients, 63 agency leaders, 27 agencies across 27 countries, covering the 7 regions of Europe. What makes this report truly powerful is the dual perspective, and we literally can see where agencies and clients are aligned and where we live in completely 2 different realities. It reveals the challenges, the contradictions, and the opportunities defining Europe's live experience industry today. It's a reality check, a gauge temperature, and more importantly, a playbook for what's next. It's 96 pages of data and insights, but don't worry, we won't be covering it all today. As Maciej said, we will be giving you a little taste of it and a few of the insights we thought were the most interesting. So over the next 30 minutes, we are going to be exploring 5 of the biggest tensions in the industry, the places where expectations and reality don't quite match. The KPI gap, why we all swear we're data-driven, but still rely on informal feedback. AI and tech fluency, the miracle expectations versus the messy transformation behind it. What clients really want, the surprisingly human priorities behind experience design. The sustainability reality check, the contradiction between ambition and budgets. And the pitch paradox, why clients ask for creativity, but reward reliability. Simple, sharp, slightly painful. And as we explore each of these, we'll also share practical recommendations for agencies, ways to turn these contradictions into opportunities for stronger partnership and better work. So let's jump in.
Yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump into the first one. And as Alexandra said, we called it the KPI gap. And basically, when we think or talk about the KPIs, we think of them as our North Star many times. But pretty often, the reality shows that we kind of navigate without a proper compass, which basically doesn't help us to get to the right places that we want to get to. And when we get into the data, it basically shows that there's even a bigger gap between the intention and the execution. So the first one we are showing you today probably doesn't surprise you. Like, most of our clients say that they already track KPIs or they just started doing so. And 83% of them say that it's very important or highly important to collect the data. So this basically shows that companies aren't just running events for the sake of it. What they do is basically putting a lot of real emphasis on understanding the commercial impact behind the live experiences. And what we probably all know, that is a clear need of the measurement of the outcomes. And we are basically not happy with just the number and the applause at the projects that we do. But on the other hand, when we look into the perspective of the way we collect the data, or we basically gather this information, it's pretty surprising that 70% of the times, that's what the clients told us, is that basically the feedback is gathered through informal discussions. And there is only 33% of them saying that they do it in a standardized way. So that actually creates a pretty big gap, in our opinion. We think it is a big one, between the industry desire for the data collection and the methods we actually use to capture it. But on the other hand, when there is a problem, we always see an opportunity. And from our point of view, the opportunity is that we can actually turn those insights into measurable improvements. So if we align ours and the client's need for the data with standardized KPI, and most importantly, consistent feedback tools, we can finally move from the gut feeling into the real evidence of what actually works and what doesn't. And that shift doesn't just improve the individual projects. We believe that basically it builds the continuous improvement cycle and strengthens our relationships with the clients. So probably we should think more of the co-creation of the KPIs, as it might be a good direction, especially during all those conversations that we have with our clients. And when we talk about the tools, there's another one which we covered quite often during our conversations yesterday, during the RFP stage, and so on. And this is the one that basically everybody is expecting to master, but the question is if we really do.
So let's move to AI and new technologies. The part of the industry where the hype is loud, the expectations are sky high, and the reality sometimes a little bit less glamorous. Right now, we're living in a world where clients expect AI to deliver miracles, faster, cheaper, better, and preferably immediately. Right now, there's almost this belief that AI will fix everything that's ever been broken in our workflows. And on the agency side, we are integrating AI. It's no longer experimental, and it's part of our day-to-day. But we are still focusing on certain functions, creativity being the first one. And if we look at strategy or production, usage is only still around 60%, and we're at 10% on finance. And this is somewhat surprising because these functions should be all about efficiency, so you would think there's still quite a lot of work to be done there. And a big question is emerging. Will in-house teams, innovation teams, become the new standard? Already 44% of agencies say they have their own internal innovation or tech capability. And that changes the dynamic. Agencies are becoming true innovation engines. So the truth is, AI is hugely powerful, but it's not magic. It accelerates creativity and efficiency, but it still needs human direction, human judgment, and often human cleanup. And this leads to an important recommendation for agencies. We need to rethink our commercial models. If AI makes some parts of our work cheaper and faster, if it makes it faster, it doesn't mean cheaper. The opportunity is to shift the conversation from hours worked to value created. Because if we don't do this, AI becomes a margin killer instead of a margin multiplier. So the real question isn't, how fast can AI make us? It really has to become, how strategic can we become with the time that AI gives us back? And that's where the next phase of innovation will come from. There is still a tension, though. At the moment, expectations are rising faster than transformation. Clients are asking for innovation today, but organizations still need to evolve their systems, skills, and processes to make real innovation possible tomorrow. And Maciej will tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when we look at the industry, there is a constant tension between what we need today and what we'll need to focus on tomorrow. And we actually asked this question of what we need, like, to both the agencies and the clients. And as we usually explore the priorities at the RFP stage, we have those constant discussions of what's the goal, what's the most important thing for all of us. And actually this time, some of the responses were pretty surprising. And we discovered that there's a very interesting gap between the priorities that we see today and the priorities that might come tomorrow. So let's break down into what the clients are actually prioritizing. And when we look at today's, like 55% of the clients say that that's the continuous innovation, and 41% of them say that it's managing the market volatility. But what's very interesting here for us is the future and the huge, massive, actually, 19% point rise in the prioritizing workforce transformation as the key focus of the future. So it shows that clients are actually increasingly focusing on strengthening their team's resilience and the ability to foster adaptation to what's new in a rapidly changing environment. So in short, we can say that clients want the innovation today, but what they really need is the workforce transformation tomorrow. And while we dug deeper into that area, we actually got some hints from the clients, and they told us that there are a couple of points we could think about when coming to those workforce transformation areas. And basically, at the top of the list was the purpose-driven events, the purpose-driven experiences. Then they cover the personalized experience as the very important part. And basically, again, when we think about the data collection here, it's basically the point where we can connect those dots. So clients actually aren't just naming the challenge. They're already pointing us towards the experiences that can drive meaningful transformation. And when we think about the meaningful actions of ours, there's another topic, which is one of the top priorities, and we've been consistently talking about it, and it's been showing up in our RFPs, in our cases, even here at BIA. And this is the next one Alexandra is gonna cover.
So, let's talk about sustainability, the topic everyone claims is a top priority, until it appears in the budget. We all remember that sustainability was #1 topic in most of the cases at BEA over the last couple of years. We heard it from agencies, we heard it from judges at the Q&A sessions. But while sustainability has become a top priority in principle, it does seem to be a largely unexecuted one in practice. What the data show is a pretty honest contradiction. 56% of agencies say that less than half of their clients ever request sustainability credentials, and 32% of clients say they request these. So from the get-go, it doesn't seem to be that important. And let's not even talk about the economics of it all. Clients expect greener solutions, agencies believe in greener solutions, but when it comes to funding them, the enthusiasm suddenly quiets down. The numbers show a 30 points gap between clients demanding sustainable events and clients actually funding them. And this is why sustainability consistently sits in that awkward space between value and expense. Everyone agrees it matters, but no one wants it to impact margins. So here's the practical opportunities for agencies. Introduce a good, better, best sustainability framework. Make it transparent, make it structured, and make it a choice. Show clients clearly the carbon impact, the budget impact, the trade-off, and the benefits at all levels. Introduce a transparent, tiered offering that educates clients on the cost and impact at different levels, shifting the responsibility for investment to them. This shifts sustainability from a vague aspiration into a concrete business decision. It also stops agencies from absorbing hidden costs and hoping the clients won't notice. And most importantly, it reframes sustainability as part of a strategic conversation, not just something bolted on at the end of a production. Because when clients see the options clearly, they can actually decide, how sustainable do we actually want this event to be? And that's a much healthier place for the whole industry to operate from.
So, last but not least, as we said, there's going to be just a couple of the insights. There's much more in the whole document. Don't worry, it's going to be downloadable for you guys. But we call it a pitch paradox. So it seems that, well, we are all here because of the creativity, and it seems that the creative part is the most important for us. So bold ideas, fresh concepts, and innovative experiences. But there's also a flip side of that coin. when we asked the clients what's the factor that they actually choose an agency, it appeared that it's not the creativity, it's not the number one. What they actually value is safety, reliable delivery, risk management, and the confidence that everything goes as it was planned. So there are two perspectives here. The first one, with the blue, is the agency's perspective. 52% of us believe that the most important factor is the creative part, the factor of the decision making. But on the client side, it's actually the full service approach, the safety in general. But what's the most striking probably is that the creative part got only 18% of the votes. So it's pretty low, right? So this was probably one of the most surprising findings in the whole survey here. And while we often assume that, and even especially based on the RFP language, when we talk to the clients, what are the goals, what are the most important parts, many times we get to this creative part, but then when we ask them what they really think and what they really need, is the other priority, as I said. And the reality is that clients are looking just for the security, or maybe not just for the security, but for the security first, the reliability, and the top level of service. Just to make things clear, creativity still matters, but for many clients, it's not the core reason they basically choose the agency. Of course, we were surprised, so we dug deeper, just to make sure how should we work on that. And basically, as agencies rank the creative excellence as the most important part, 59% of the clients say that it's the attendee experience at the event, and 42% say that it's the attendee experience before the event. So we pretty often focus on those, let's say, very creative parts, like the branding and so on. But what actually comes here is showing that we might need to look even at our business models and the change of our agencies from a little bit different perspective. So what we actually should maybe think about is basically focusing a little bit more on the data, as we said, on the tech teams, or the client experience in general. Because probably the worst nightmare at any event is a too long queue at the entrance.
Thank you, Maciej. So we've come to the end of our 5 little bits of insights from a very full report that you will be able to download very shortly. And what does all of this leave us with? Across Europe, across clients, across agencies, the picture is surprisingly the same. We're all navigating the same contradictions. We say KPIs drive everything, but most measurement is still informal. We expect AI to perform miracles, but we're not yet transforming the systems around it. We need to deliver innovation today, yet we still haven't figured out the workforce transformation of tomorrow. We talk passionately about sustainability, but the execution rarely follows. We ask for bold creativity in pitches, and then reward reliability and safety. But here's the good news. These contradictions aren't failures, they're signals. They show exactly where the biggest opportunities are. Because the future of our industry won't be shaped by who has the biggest LED wall, or the flashiest AI demo, or the most aggressive pitch deck. It will be shaped by the ones who can close the gaps between expectations and reality. And that's where agencies have a real chance to lead. From this research, 5 clear recommendations emerged, and they point directly to where the value lies. First of all, become strategic counselors, not purely executors. Bring clarity, business logic, and partnership into the conversation. Co-create KPIs with clients. Tie events to real business outcomes and remove the guesswork. Build AI, power-based, value-based commercial models. Don't let AI become a race to the bottom. Make it a multiplier of strategic value. Offer transparent sustainability tiers. Good, better, best. Clear, accountable, and honest. And last but not least, stay creative, but remember that clients reward full service support. Put more emphasis on reliability, smooth logistics, and zero surprises. If agencies embrace these shifts and clients welcome it, we can move from an industry full of contradictions to one that's full of momentum, and we can start having more honest and truthful conversations. Because this is a moment where alignment matters, where honesty matters, and where strategy matters. And if we get it right, the next chapter of the European experience industry will be stronger, smarter, and far more impactful than ever before. So, here we've given you a little bit of a taste of the EEX report. There's much more to learn, including some nuances based on geographical location, on size of agency. You can actually download the report on the 27Names website or directly using the QR code here behind me. Another important thing is we would love to continue having this conversation, as this is the first of what we hope will be many, many EEX reports, and it would be wonderful to open the participation pool to all of you for the next round. So in the meantime, thank you so much from Maciej and I, and we hope you enjoy the read.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, and I personally wanted to thank Christina and Ralph, who basically manage 27Names every day, because they are the people who basically made it on time and with a high value. So big round of applause for Christina and Ralph on that. I'm going to leave it for a second for you guys if you want to download it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Maciej and Alexandra. You did an amazing work. I mean, you really spoke about the unspoken truth, and I think that we all agree with the results of this research. I mean, and so I'm really proud that you presented this research here at Bear World, and really, it will be, I think, very helpful for the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you,
take
everyone.
some
Thank you,
minutes, 5 minutes, they say, to prepare the stage for the next content. Thank you.